Fun fact number 100. Back to politics. Yeah. Okay. So, um, before the thing happened with the dance thing, I had written this down as a thought. And I called it the fun fact number 100 machinations of the mind. And I'm going to read what I wrote. Machinations of the mind, or how to, machinations of mind on how to survive Trump's or the con man's America worst case scenarios. Now, I've lived a lot of different lives in a lot of different ways. And I've had to do a lot of things to just survive. Nothing terrible, but I had to know how to do a lot of things. And um, long story short, my daughter needed some help with her bike. There was something wrong with it, and she's trying to ride her bike more so she can start exercising again after a very stressful year to lose weight. And we found somebody who fixed it very inexpensively, but he's going to teach her also how to do some more maintenance on her bike herself and take care of her bike better and be safer when she's riding her bike on the trails. And I knew that was a point. Let me think. Shit. And he wrote her an invoice for what he was going to fix and how much it was going to cost, and he was giving her a break and everything. And it was on basically carbon paper, like when you have a piece of paper and another paper and another paper underneath, and if you don't write hard enough, it's supposed to copy down to the other papers, but he didn't write hard enough, so we could barely see what he wrote. But most people don't operate that way anymore. Everything's online, everything's electronic. It's like AI on everything. I'm trying to get it off my computer and my phone because I don't need AI. I don't need AI trying to correct me or telling me what to do. I don't. So, and if I make a mistake, oh, look, I'm human. I'm not AI. So I'm not a huge fan of AI. I can see some positive applications for it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I've talked about this before. But what I'm understanding more and more is that a lot of people in society today don't know how to do a lot of basic things. I can remember one of my neighbors years ago saying, well, you know how you save money? And I said, oh, how do you save money? And she goes, well, you don't eat out every night. You buy things in the grocery stores and you make it at home. And it's a lot less expensive. And I'm like, you just figured that out? You're a wife and a mother and in your 30s? Yeah, duh. There's other things. If you grow your own food, it saves money if the deer don't eat your plants. But yeah, that's another way. There's a lot of things you can do to survive. You can make your own bread with flour, which is a lot less expensive, but you got to take the time and you need to know how to do it. I was talking about it with my daughter one day, and I said, you can see behind me that I have these are record albums down here, and I have DVDs, and I have CDs, and I have tapes, and I have that machination. I don't have to use my phone. If my phone dies, I don't have to use my phone to look at music. I still have my computer. I can do it here. But I don't have to use my computer and my phone to communicate. There's other ways. Imagine that. You can send letters. There's places where you can go where you can fax things or use library computers. Or what if the electricity all goes away? Then what do you do? What do you do? Post office is going to be a lot more important now, isn't it? meeting people face to face, which has kind of almost gone out of fashion, would be a bigger thing. Finding ways to communicate would become, and actually, too, your child doesn't have a phone on them and they went out with some friends. How do you know they're safe? There's so many things that used to be done and ways of doing things that used to be done that people have kind of said that's the past. There's so much easier ways to do things. And the point is, there isn't. They're all tools. Some may make things go faster. Some things may distract you more. See, the other things that we have are board games. I think this kind of came up with the bathtub that we having, the plumbing issues that we had. And where I used to live a long time, well, when I was with my ex-husband, um, there's, we didn't, sometimes we ran out of hot water because he used it all. And I would want a bath, and my daughter would want a bath, and I showed her how to boil water on the stove and fill the tub. And I told her that's where don't throw the baby out with the bathwater came from, too. People would take multiple baths in the same water. People don't know where those things come from. They don't know where things started, how to do things from scratch, how to entertain themselves, how to have a conversation. Like I said, we have board games. We have a gas stove. We had a fireplace. If there was no electricity, I could cook out of a fireplace. But since we have a gas stove, I know how to make that work and cook there. Be really hard with microwavable meals, but hey, there would be less waste, less garbage, if we did things from scratch. So there'd be less containers for the fast foods. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a microwaved meal. I love sit pack from the fridge. Because I cooked for years and years and years and years, but I know what to do. I know how to sew holes in clothes. I know how to make things last. I know that if I have a piece of clothing that starts to fall apart and get holes in it, it can be a rag to clean with. If it gets worst case scenario that we don't have any resources because of what's going on right now, you have to have a way to protect yourself. You have to have a way to survive, and you have to know a lot of things that you can do. Gosh, baking soda is amazing for so many things. Make sure you have several boxes of baking soda. You can cook with it. You can put it on a bee sting, poison, it'll suck it out. Wounds, cures, cleaning. Just baking soda is awesome. Somebody was just telling me the other day they drink half a teaspoon of baking soda in some water every morning, mix it up, and every night, and their digestion is so much better. And this is what I'm talking about. The old wives' tales, the old things that people said, hey, if you have this, I can fix this for you. Looking at the food that's in your pantry and thinking about how you can make a meal out of with it without going out and buying more stuff or finding more food. These are all things that, unless you've had to or you've tried to live without all the conveniences of the modern world, if everything is taken away, how are you going to survive? What are you going to do? Now, I'd rather have a fireplace here because if it gets really cold, it's good for warmth. But if you have 500 blankets and some extra clothes you can put on, that helps too. And you can always stand by if you have a gas stove, you can always light it, stand in front of it for a while to get warm. Cuddle with somebody is good too. So I'm thinking worst case scenario. We live by the ocean. I've got a fishing pole. I can fish. We can trade. I have things and skills and knowledge and things that I can offer to trade to get stuff to survive. So, what do you have? Now, I know that there's people that have shelters and they have wheatgrass in their garage, like tons of it, and um, canned goods of the yin yang for the apocalypse. And I'm not talking about that. Anybody can do that. But what do you do if you forgot the can opener? What do you do? How do you cook it? Do you need to be able to think outside the box, not from the books. The books are going to tell you. So that was my thoughts, my machinations of my mind. If everything is taken away, you better make sure there's people who want to be your friend. That's for sure. And who know you and believe in you might want to protect you too, just as much as you want to protect them. So those are the machinations of my mind about how people don't know how to do things from scratch. From like I brew my own coffee. I don't go out and buy coffee. I haven't gone out and bought coffee since I was in my 20s and I was in college and I was running all over the place and coffee was my main nutritional thing, which was really bad. Um, and then you have the Keurig things, and then if you don't have that, can you do a cold press? Don't know. I can boil water on my gas stove and put it through, so I can find a way to make it work, what I have. Can you tell me some things that you know? Maybe that'll help me too, if everything goes to shit. But just some thoughts, ideas. Share yours. Ciao, Bella.